This week in our collective heads, wanna put an old rumor to bed. Stereotype that you've all heard, how we're all just angry video game nerds. Most of us have actual jobs, kids and families and cats and dogs, yeah. This week in our collective heads, this week in our collective heads.
Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Patrick, joined by Owen.
Hello!
We're having fun here, hanging out in Facebook land and all the other places that we do. We're here every single week, like we are every single week, giving you gaming news and relatively, fun nerd ramblings, I'd say. Good stuff. Good stuff.
I would agree with that. Yeah. That's a good assessment. Fun nerd ramblings. We can make a shirt out of that.
And we'll try not to fanboy. I think that's the one thing I can say about our show is we tell it to you for
unless Zelda's involved, and okay. even then, I'll tone it down to like a 10-5, just out of 10,
just a little bit. So yeah, we're here giving you gaming news, like I said, and we've got some game announcements that I wanted to kind of get up front, get them out of the way. Starting out with Cyber Shadow. From our friends over at Yacht Club, and you're saying this is actually published by them, right?
Yeah, so I got super excited about this for a second because, like, oh, cool, something other than Shovel Knight, which it still is. It's still cool, but they are not developing the game. They are just publishing the game. Still cool for them. Like, I was like, how much capital did you make off of, or profit rather? How much profit did you make off of Shovel Knight that you get to make this unabashedly Ninja Gaiden game? Like we were saying, The Messenger late last year was Ninja Gaiden. This is straight up Ninja Gaiden.
No, I agree. And in some ways, like Bloodstained, like it's a great Castlevania. And it's like, well, if they're not going to do it, I'll do it. I mean, it's just enough where it's not hitting on copyright. Kind of like that I completely forgot the name of it. That horror game the asymmetrical gameplay where it's like one camper versus like five campers versus like one killer.
Friday the 13th.
Well, they did Friday the 13th, and then there's also anher one that I played, and it was basically they tried to do generic kind of killers.
Somebody made a fake Friday the 13th.
Well, it was before Friday the Friday the 13th game came out.
Oh, okay.
And it's the same idea. Except they couldn't get the rights to do. Basically, they wanted to do Friday the 13th, couldn't get the rights, something like that. I can't remember, but like it's relatively generic, like like crazy redneck chainsaw guy, and like it's like, oh, it's not Leatherface, but it's close enough, that kind of thing. Anyways, I'm just ranting at that point. We also got Persona 5 Royal. Persona's one of the franchises that. If I had a lot of time, I would totally be into this, but...
If I had, like, 300 hours to play Personas 3, 4, and 5...
I would totally be down.
Persona 5 is sitting on my PS4. I did buy it, finally, after resisting for a while during the Black Friday sale, because it was finally under $30, and that was kind of my threshold to just give them... Like, I know that they deserve the money, and I know that there's like a chance that someday I will play this game, so I bought it. This was just interesting because everybody thought that with Joker coming to Smash, that Persona 5 would be on Switch, but this is strictly Persona 5 Royal coming to PS4 with some female protagonist. It looks like.
Yeah,
we know nothing about her. We know nothing about her.
Yeah,
no, they didn't. She's a brand new character.
Exactly. We wanted to definitely put it on the show because while it's not important to us, we know that there's some hardcore Persona fans out there, and be very excited for that.
They will be. They said that they're going to be announcing more news in April.
Okay. Well, speaking of April, we got World War Z coming out on my birthday, April 16th. So if you want to get me something, don't get me this. Not that I don't want to play it, but like. I mean, is anyone excited about this?
The thing is about this game is that Let's see. Give me 1 second.
And I'm saying that as a zombie fan.
Sure.
I'm like, okay, it's you kill a bunch of zombies. I get it, but they're first of all they're fast walking zombies, which aren't as scary. Second of all, are there World War Z fanatics out there? Because they're not giving me enough from the game, from everything.
I
I've
enjoyed
seen
the
of
book.
I enjoyed the book. I thought it was
terrible.
Yeah, exactly. But to me, I'm just thinking, who is this for? Who is the audience that will gravitate towards this without it being, and I hate saying this, but being already backed by a intellectual property that we know does good games? Because it isn't known intellectual property, but like Black Ops, any of the Call of Duties with zombies, like, would you just rather play that? Or are there people who just want this ridiculous horde mode without story?
Yeah, and Kevin agrees that no one is excited. The other thing about this is that literally 10 days later, on April 26th, preloaded and in all its glory is going to be Days Gone. And so it's like, could I play this World War Z game? Which, I mean, if you want to co-op with somebody, I get that. That's
sure.
Cool. But would I want to play that, or do I want to play freaking Sony first-party studio zombie game?
To me, it's not even a question. It's
not.
There's too many games out here. To me, it seems like that's going to be white noise, and it almost feels like they're doing it just because they can do it with the property, with a World War Z property.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of where they're like, let's make a game because we own the property, so let's make a game and get some money. You can't just do that. I mean,
I will say it's smart that they are putting it out before Days Gone instead of after Days Gone.
Oh, of course. But I'd say unless you're doing something that's indie style or even retro looking, it costs too much to make a game versus how much you're going to get out of it if you really want it to be profitable. Not to say that that's all this industry's for, but like the Stranger Things games is a great example of that. It's not a huge, ridiculous AAA title, so they don't have to invest as much money in it, and they don't have to expect as much money out of it.
What's crazy is the last one was released for free.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I love that because we got the third one coming out.
Yeah.
But like, to me, that shows anytime that a game publisher understands and respects us and says, I know this isn't worth $60, so I'm going to charge you X for it, whatever X is. I think is great. We just had, speaking of that, there was a sale for Far Cry New Dawn. Is it New Dawn?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like half off. It's like $20 right now.
It's already $20.
It's already $20 for now, and immediately people were saying in the comments like that should have been $20 from the beginning. That was not worth. I think it was $40 is what they were selling it for. Yeah. I said $20 or $30. I haven't bought it. I'm gonna buy it now that it's $20, but I wasn't gonna buy it at $40.
I heard it was enjoyable.
I'm sure it's enjoyable.
And I'm a big fan in terms of game companies picking their own price. I even think that, and we've talked about this before, that at some point, all it takes is one game company to say my game is worth $80 to break the $60 streak, and it's only a matter of time before that happens. So if they think that their Far Cry game was worth $40 and they could get that from the very loyal Far Cry people at the very beginning, sure. But now, just like Tomb Raider, just like there's another big release that was like $30 a month after launch. Just like a lot of games like the third-party AAA games.
Yeah.
If you want to wait, and this is something I'm starting to do more now, just because as time goes on, I just don't have time. If you want to wait to get in on this, unless you just really love the publisher, you're gonna get it at least half off a month in. Maybe two.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey was on sale for $20.
The game.
Yeah,
that's literally what I was saying. Odyssey went on sale instantly. Yeah, and it doesn't deserve it either. That's a $60 game.
It's totally a $60 game. It's a great game. I bought it for $60, and my coworker was telling me because, he knows that we do the show, that I do a show, but I guess he didn't realize how connected I am and we are, and how much we're into the pulse of what's going on with gaming. As he messaged me like ridiculously excited about the Xbox sale because Assassin's Creed was on sale. I'm like, yeah, dude, this happens all the time. He was like, it was just $60. I'm like, yeah, I know. It happens all the time. You just wait like 4 months. Wait 4 months, and no matter what it is. I know, but no matter what it is, it's going to be on sale. Wait 2 months, and you're probably going to get it. It's an interesting world when it comes to that. Speaking of interesting worlds, we got a Lord of the Rings game announced.
Ooh.
And, okay.
It's a Golem Lord of the Rings.
It is. Now, as soon as I heard about it, which I heard about it in text message before anything else.
Sure.
Got a text from, I think it was from you. No, sorry, it was Kevin. And then you and I were commenting about it.
Yeah.
I was imagining, I'm like, oh, we're gonna get like before he got the ring, or maybe get him first acquiring the ring.
Yeah.
And then that they show the graphic, and the graphic has him as Gollum. I guess I was hoping for more Smeagol.
Absolutely.
Like that I'm like, oh, cool. So we'll get some backstory. We'll see. Oh, maybe he was involved. And of course, Lord of the Rings fans will be ridiculously mad, but they'll be like, oh, turns out he was involved in this and that, like some backstory to Lord of the Rings, which works out with the Amazon stuff that's coming out. But I don't care about this unless the gameplay's amazing.
We need it. No, I don't. We don't really need it. I was gonna try and act like I can do a Smeagol voice, but I would have to practice it.
I know one person who could do that. That's a rough one.
There's a guy on Twitch that does a really good one. But no, I can't. I was about to try it again. No.
Kevin said it starts with him as Smeagol, which is okay. Like, I would like the majority of the game as that, because I'm okay playing in Lord of the Rings, and I think that's something that now we're in a wave in regards to how we make games, and it doesn't have to be ridiculously actiony. Like, I can play a Lord of the Rings game as a halfling, as you know, just a hobbit running around, and I don't have to be a ranger. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like 10 years ago, if they were like, we have to do a Lord of the Rings game, it's like, you've got to play Aragorn or whoever. But like, to me, I'm like, I'm fine. I'll play Frodo. I don't care. Like, if you're gonna tell me a good story, that's what matters.
I mean, it's all about what you're trying to accomplish in the game. You know, sometimes gameplay is king, and sometimes story is king. I just finished Telltale Walking Dead this week, and obviously, like, that's right. Yeah, that's walking around as like a teenage girl who occasionally will kill a zombie or two.
Yeah.
So
you finished it, right?
I did. It was sad. And more, I'm talking more sad because Telltale's gone. And if we get a chance to talk more about that later, we can. But with this game, I mean, I'm intrigued just because, like, Gollum's a really weird character to pick to focus on, and so it's like kind of going to be like, what is he doing? But after that, I'm not. Lord of the Rings isn't my universe.
It's a universe that I
want to care about it more.
I want to care about it more. I like Lord of the Rings. I read the books.
Okay.
I definitely rank it over Harry Potter.
Oh no!
But what?
No, that's okay. It's just different. That's a difference of opinion, but that's okay.
It's fine. That's fine. But like, to me, it's like, no. I mean, I respect both of them. I'm not saying like,
sure.
I'm not.
Oh, I know.
It's not like a competition about it, but
I know. Oh, it's always a competition with nerds, man. It's like Star Trek versus Star Wars. No.
Of course it is. Speaking of that, I won't segue yet. I'm gonna segue into something else afterwards. But to me, Lord of the Rings, I really enjoyed it. And I mean, I've read it. I liked the movies, but I always felt like, even though it's great, I think that it's great because it set the tone for fantasy and the fantasy genre and everything. But other than that, I feel like there's other fantasy that does a lot more interesting stuff. And I guess that's why I'm in the situation of like, I get it, I respect it, I like it, I want to love it. But I mean, I enjoy it. I've enjoyed the movies. I wasn't mad about the Hobbit. I was mad that they stretched the Hobbit into 3 movies.
Ugh.
That was not needed.
It was not.
Yeah, but I will do a real quick segue here because you mentioned Star Trek. I saw a ranking of best Star Treks.
Okay.
And I thought I'd include you in on the conversation because the top. Okay, so the worst one was the animated one.
Okay.
I don't have the list in front of me, but the worst one was animated. I think Voyager was after that.
What?
Yeah. So, top 3.
Yeah.
Number 3 was The Next Generation.
Okay.
Number 2 was Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
So number 1 is the original series.
I mean,
What
but
do you
kudos
think?
for somebody ranking DS9 above TNG. That's my dog right there. Whoever that was.
That's exactly right.
Even though Voyager's at the bottom of the list, I want to shake that person's hand for giving DS9 the absolute respect it deserves. The TOS is not. I don't care for it, but I don't like William Shatner that much.
To me, it's a different time. I mean, similar like we're talking about Lord of the Rings. Like, it started all this. I get it. I revere it. I respect it.
Yeah.
But if I put on an episode of Deep Space Nine versus putting in an episode of the original series, one of them is going to engross me, and it's the connecting storylines and connecting cultures, as opposed to just his face is black on the right side and his face is black on the left side, and like that being like, oh, like I don't know. To me, it was just too.
I think the thing that is funny about you saying that is, if you listen to the naysayers about Discovery, it's all the people who want Star Trek to look like 90s Trek, that want it to look like TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Discovery. It's 2019 in terms of technology-wise, in terms of special effects. Like, it's cheaper to do some of these effects now, and they can do them better. So why wouldn't they? It's supposed to be the 24th century. It's probably going to look better than it did on TNG, and I'm sorry about that. And that's some things that people hold against it and totally brush it off as a series for.
So to me, as long as if you're talking about you're talking about the graphics, right? You're talking about like visual wise, not. I guess what I was going to say is, like, my only problem is if you try to look at the continuity. And you look at, where they were at one century versus another, like 25th versus 26th century or whatever. Like, okay, if you have ridiculously advanced stuff that looks better than it was during Kirk's days, that's weird to me. But you're talking about like graphics, right? You're not, like graphics, lighting.
No, I'm talking about. I mean, I'm including the way that it looks better, because I'm saying, if you look at the original series, just like you said, it was a different time. Now, take the original series, say that you're in that time period in 2019, special effects are just better now. Like,
I agree.
And that's not the fault of the people creating the show. If there are a lot of old fans that are expecting them to hold back and say, we're not going to take advantage of 2019 technology, we're just going to film this like it's old school, and that's where a lot of people are automatically dismissive of the series. And I know it irked me for the first like couple episodes, and then after I realized it, I was like, why would I want them to look bad?
No, that's the thing. I guess lighting was the big thing that, to me, lighting and the costumes being, in my opinion, better and more creative. I don't know what we should do. What's that?
We should do a Star Trek episode. We should talk Trek.
Let's do that. We're gonna do that another time. We're gonna do a special episode.
We should do like an hour or two just on every Trek series.
I'm cool with that.
I've seen them all.
You've seen them all. Okay, I've not. Okay, I've seen all of them, but Enterprise I only saw a little bit of.
I watched it through once to say that I did.
Okay, I couldn't get into it. I wanted to get into it. I love Scott Bakula. I've been a fan of Scott Bakula since Quantum Leap when I was a kid. And it's just such a great show. I'm sorry, but why are you laughing? Because I was a kid during Quantum Leap?
No, I'm laughing because that exact thing that you said in terms of like liking Quantum Leap. I was talking with a good buddy of mine who occasionally listens, but is a huge Trek fan, and he was like, you know what? I have a good premise for a Star Trek. You know who should be a perfect captain? What about that guy from Quantum Leap?
Are you serious?
And it was us thinking, like, the people who are creating Enterprise, like, that guy just seems like he should be a captain in Star Trek.
Yeah, that's
and then they did it, and then they disrespected
him. Okay. I thought you meant like that was recent. So he literally said that before they cast him.
No, we were just making a joke conversation of like how the development of Enterprise happened, and it was just that Scott Bakula was a great choice for a captain, and the first season of Enterprise is actually quite good. If we do that episode, though, I'm gonna make you watch some of it on Netflix.
I'm gonna have to watch it because I've seen Well, and I actually planned on doing this, and I wanted to talk to you about doing it. I wanted to do episodes on Star Trek Discovery, which I knew you would not say no to, because I've not finished the first season. So,
oh yeah,
like, I think
second season's about to finish up right now.
Exactly. I was gonna say, like, I don't know if I'll be able to binge it that quickly.
No,
but,
it's
like,
okay.
I'm gonna watch through season 1, and then do we can do a season 1 episode, and then a season 2 as well. Anyways.
Okay.
We're going to talk about video games, though, because that's what you came here for.
That's that deep nerd segue right there.
Yeah. That's what we do here, though. And let's talk about deep nerdiness. I'm an old school Wolfenstein fan.
Yeah, man.
And Wolfenstein Youngblood, I was already going to get it anyways. But so the game is going to be July 26th.
Yeah.
And we're talking about pricing something right. Totally did this right. The game is going to be $30. And I think they realize that's the right price for it. They will get so many more people to buy it. And if you buy the deluxe edition for $40, you get a buddy pass and you can play with a buddy. Which I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that.
How cool was that, dude?
I'll probably do, I mean, why not? I think that it proves that they know where they are in the pecking order of, like, understanding that Wolfenstein, as much as I like Wolfenstein is not an immediate buy for a ton of people.
No.
They may or may not.
Doom.
It's not Doom. They may or may not get to it. Doom, people are going to buy. And realizing that, they said, we can make money off of it. Like we were talking about, these games get discounted so quickly. Price it at $30. Let's see how many of these can fly off the shelves. $40 to get a buddy pass? Yeah, okay. Someone's going to argue, like, oh, well, then your friend doesn't, your friend's getting to play it for free. No, they're not. It's like they only get to play it with
I paid
you.
for it.
Well, what I mean is, like, if I bought it for $40 and I let you be my buddy and play with me,
yeah,
then yeah, you don't get to play it alone, but you get to play with me.
Tell me about my best friend. I instantly texted Patrick about this because it's one of the coolest things I've seen. I think I've seen this maybe one or two other times, but it was like, you can buy this game for $30, or you could play a co-op version. For those who didn't watch some of the video, and we cut it off kind of short. The game, the premise is around BJ's two daughters, it looks like.
Yeah.
And so it gave that perfect opportunity of, I'm going to do a co-op with a buddy. They give you that option to do that for $40. Your buddy can just jump in there with you, as I understand it anyway. That they could just join your game. This game is on Switch even. That's going to be interesting. That it's running on Switch as well as the other ones. I'm just wondering, when's going to be is Doom Eternal going to run on Switch also? This is so cool. I really like the premise. I like that you get to not play as BJ for once. That makes it really interesting to me, and that you're searching for BJ. It's kind of got like a Lost for going back to Star Trek, a Search for Spock feel. I'm wondering if BJ is going to be leaving any clues anywhere or anything like that. If there's going to be cool little story moments like that. This trailer was really cool. I'm going to be right in the middle of baby bonding, and so hopefully I can put on some headphones and jump into this.
Hopefully. I mean, I'm gonna get it. I get Wolfenstein games because I love the franchise. It's one of those games that I end up not playing that much. The last one I think I played for 4 hours.
Sure.
And I liked what I played, and I got really busy with other stuff.
I bought every single one, and I still haven't played Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah.
It's just chilling.
And I think we talked about this before, but I liked what was it, 2008, 2009 Wolfenstein? Maybe it was 2010. Yeah. It was the first time they brought Wolfenstein back, and it was
360 PS3 game.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, it took itself too seriously, even though there was magic and stuff like that. But the tone of the game was too serious. And then when they did it again, they were like, you know what? We know this is supposed to be ridiculous. You're killing Nazis. It doesn't have to be
killing Nazis.
Yeah, I love that movie, by the way.
That's so good.
It's such a good movie. You and I have been talking about the future of gaming a lot in the podcast and our conversations and everything. And now we get Apple Arcade, which, I mean, in everything that we've been talking about, I think this does what Amazon, in a different way, it's not going to directly compete with Amazon, but in a different way, this, games as a service or a subscription service for gaming.
You mean Google?
I think, yeah, sorry, Google. I don't know why I said Amazon. Yeah, Google. Sorry. What Google's doing with their Stadia. What's wrong with me? I was thinking Arcadia, and I'm like, no, that's stupid. Because this is Arcade, Apple Arcade, Stadia. So, with Apple Arcade, I think they're going to hit more of a different market, not the same market. Because you and I were talking about with Stadia being able to play these games. Okay, yeah, I can play it on my phone, but more than likely, it's going to be, can I play it in this room? Can I play it in that room? It's having a console game system, but without the console. I know you can play it handheld as well. I think Apple is going to hit more on the handheld side of this than anything else. And Apple, with the amount of iPhones out there, I mean, I think it can do really well. I didn't see details on it. I don't know if you had, or if you want to talk about it or anything, but like, if there are any details on like, this is not streaming. This is the game actually loads on.
There is some details there, yeah.
Okay, I didn't see the details on that. But
so it's completely it's a subscription based model. If in addition to competing with something like Stadia, it also competes with something like Game Pass, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree.
And where it's very similar to Xbox is it's not streaming. You do download the game. You can play the games offline. So I think you might even be able to play it both ways, but they did make sure to say that you can download them and play them. They didn't do a pricing model on it yet. They said something about releasing in the fall, so who knows when that's going to be around. It's very interesting because this, as a mobile platform, the fact that you can include this in Apple Family Sharing, which is a service that Apple has, for kids, this is awesome. Perfect. Like, think about it, even as an adult who has an upcoming kid who maybe doesn't want to share his console as much with the kid, I'm going to be able to give the kid an iPad. Say, here you go, kid, play some games, and not have to worry about microtransactions, not have to worry about ads that will entice the kid to click on things and download other stuff. It's just, hey, here's games, go.
Yeah. No, that you hit it right on the head, because there are a lot of people. I mean, I didn't want to turn it into like a thing about like parenting and everything, but
we've had many discussions on microtransactions already.
Definitely. But I meant more of like parenting, like how much screen time should a kid have?
Oh yeah.
Well, to me, it's not just a question of that. It's a question. There's a multitude of things and factors that go into that. Not necessarily with microtransactions, but having the system already set up where it's like, yeah, you can play whatever game, and then you can set everything on your phone so the kid has access to all the games but doesn't have access to everything. I think it's beautiful. I meant to ask you, and I'll ask you about it later, because the family sharing thing, I'm sure that's relatively easy to do, so I'm going to ask you about it later, because I got a subscription to Marvel Now. On my phone, and that's what I don't know if that's shareable. We'll get into it later.
I don't know if that sub is this one. The Apple Arcade is through Apple, whereas the sub is technically through Marvel, so that's a different thing in terms of sharing. Okay. There is purchase sharing though. I've just never tried to share. Robert would probably know the answer to this question, and he's in the chat, I think. Yeah, he's there. So Robert can probably tell you if something like Marvel would work. But family sharing is easy to set up, and it's an easy way to share Apple services and Apple purchases.
If not, I think I can log in with my user, but I didn't want it to kick her out.
Right.
But anyways, like I've been reading that and being able to read more comics, like not a ton, but being able to read like a couple comics a night. Where,
and on an iPad, those things are sweet.
And actually, on the phone, Robert said, "Marvel, what now?" It's Marvel Unlimited, so it's their subscription. It's $9 a month, $10 a month, whatever it is. But ridiculous amount, 80,000, 100,000 comics, whatever it is. They're not. It is like, and it goes like there's some of the series that are like not quite. up to speed, because they still want people to go buy the physical copy.
Yep.
But if you can wait 2 or 3 months, like we we're talking about with gaming, just wait a little bit, then it's on your Marvel Unlimited. Hey,
Yeah.
Megan's watching in the comments.
Yeah.
In Facebooks. But yeah, I want to get into that. But even with my phone, with the 8 Plus, like even with that, if you double click, it'll zoom in. So then you just look at panel versus panel. It works really well. I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, and it'll go panel by panel.
Yeah, exactly, which I like.
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.